with the 9-time champion Martina Navratilova, Jim Courier, Prakash Amritraj. I'm Brett Haber. Jannik Sinner got off to a slow start in this tournament. He got off to a slow start in this final, but as he so often does, he solved the riddle, beat Sasha Zverev for the 10th time in a row. Jim, what'd you make of that performance?
Well, what I make of it overall at 10,000 feet is that Jannik Sinner, I don't think, maybe apart from the semifinals, didn't play close to his best tennis in these matches, but it was very good and certainly good enough to win it.
But he just kept on. He knew he was going to break through, and he did in the second set, and then it was lights out after that.
He handled the moment so unbelievably well. You have Sasha Zverev coming in off of that Roland Garros title. Martina, you've been talking about it all 2 weeks, and I thought he played maybe the best match he's played against Sinner in quite some time. Sinner still was able to hold it off. It was touch and go there for a minute, but exceptional stuff.
So let's start from the beginning. Sinner was not at his top gear when he came out for the start of this match. What was the issue at the start, and how did he solve it?
Well, I think it was a combination of obviously not playing his best from the start, but it had a lot to do with what Zverev was doing as well. He served an extremely high level of first serves in. For about 2 sets, he was close to 80%. Second set, he lost the second set, serving 85% first serves in. That creates a lot of opportunities, and I thought he was being tremendously brave off that forehand side. We saw it in the highlights, taking it up the line, inside out, that blazing forehand pass up the line. That opens up a lot of opportunity on the court for him. He was staying nice and solid off the backhand. Martina and I were watching together. He threw in some serve and volleys as well. He did everything he needed to, which I think helped in the fact that Jannik Sinner wasn't playing great, but as great champions do, turned it around at the right time.
Jim, that was the first hour and a half of the match, in the words of the great Paul Harvey. What was the rest of the story?
The rest of the story was that when Sinner was able to get into some rallies, he started to get a little bit of rhythm, and he started to get on the front foot more. I mean, the first couple of sets, there were hardly any long rallies. They had one long rally in the first game of the match, and after that, it was just a serving clinic. It was awesome, but it was arrhythmic for both players, and that doesn't really give you the confidence to swing out when you don't get to swing at a lot of shots, period. But once he got a little bit more time on the ball, once Zverev pulled back a little bit and hit a few more slices and a few more looping forehands, Martina, that's all that Jannik needed to step into the void.
Yeah, Jannik couldn't get into the points, and as Jim said, he wasn't in any kind of rhythm. Once he started getting more balls into play, and then he started hitting the forehand harder, then that gave Zverev less time to run around his backhand to hit a forehand, and then he got a little careful when those big points came. And it's amazing, the margins are so small, but still, now Zverev has not broken Sinner's serve in the last 7 matches.
Crazy.
That is absolutely insane. How good and solid is that from Sinner, despite the fact that Zverev's one of the best returners in the game.
And Sinner he was down love 30. He was at 15-30, and he continually came up with first serves when he needed them, Martina. He was clutch a lot when he needed to be early in the match.
We always look for a key sequence in a slam final. It seems pretty obvious that it was at 1 set apiece, 3-all, where Zverev had his only break point of the match and ended up slipping.
Seemed like it turned on a dime there. Zverev, as far as he was concerned, on his side of the court,
he's had leads and let them go. I imagine he would feel a whole lot worse about this, Jim, had Paris not happened.
No, you could see it in his post-match comments that he is still riding on that cloud of joy from winning at Roland Garros and the relief that his career is now going to be, in his mind, a success because he's a major champ to go along with that gold medal. One takeaway that I will have, the one break point that he had today, the story is going to be, and we've highlighted it multiple times, that he slipped and that cost him a chance in that point. But he made mistakes prior to that.
Yeah.
That he sliced a couple of shots in that rally. He was hoping for help instead of taking it. Right. And if he wants to have more success against someone like a Jannik Sinner, you cannot afford to ask for help. You've got to take what's yours. And he didn't right there.
He shouldn't have been that far back behind the baseline. You really are hoping at that point. And I want to compare when Zverev slipped, he hurt himself a little bit, but he was okay. When Sinner slipped, he got up and still won the point. And I think that goes back to, you commented how good his balance is. I think it goes back to skiing. Because you always, when you ski, you have to keep fighting for that middle of the foot. You have to be really well balanced. And his balance is unbelievable for somebody that tall. He's nimble.
Yep.
And Alcaraz slides to number 3 in the rankings because he's not been playing, obviously. So Zverev will be occupying that number 2 spot, anchoring the bottom of these draws for the foreseeable future.
At this age, to be able to get that first Grand Slam title, it's all how she processes it. We've seen, right, several champions on the men's side and the women's side. It affects them sometimes adversely. Sometimes they get more hungry. Sasha Zverev, I think, has turned a huge corner. I think it's all upside for her. I think there's still things she can continue to improve, and she's evolving. She hasn't hit her ceiling yet, so there's no reason why, with her level of power and variety, she can't win multiple majors.
Cannot wait to see the video of the first dance at the Champions Dinner tonight with Linda
Yes.
and Yannick Sinner. It's always touching, if not a slight bit awkward. Do you remember who was the first champion you danced with at the?
I think it's Bjorn Borg. Yeah.
Oh, what a hard
we knew each other since we were younger. Although he became a star much before me, and he was like the Beatles here at Wimbledon. It was
so
crazy.
cool.
Sinner was a little tipsy
sweet.
last year. Let's see if he comes.
Well, I'm wondering if he, yeah, exactly.
A little more grounded this year.
Don't want to step on Linda's feet.
Yeah. And for Sinner, what an opportunity. The last 2 years, he's won 2 majors in a season. He'll have a chance in New York to make that 3 years in a row, winning 2.
Remarkable back-to-back, just the 10th man to pull that off. And so as we put a bow on this final, Prakash, what was your prevailing thought on the performance Sinner had after coming out a smidge shaky in the first set with his forehand?
It's just his ability to bounce back. It is absolutely remarkable. I thought last year was one of the most spectacular things we've seen, not just in tennis, but in all of sport. Having those triple championship points at Roland Garros, coming and winning here, a set down against Alcaraz in the final. Here, it was a dangerous Roland Garros because he didn't know what this issue was. Spent a lot of time dealing with it with doctors, didn't play any events, shows up here, finds his way into the event, and again, as we talked about, didn't play his best tennis.
Yeah.
And he still willed his way to victory in spite of opponents who were playing exceptional like Zverev did.
After that 5-setter in the first round against Kecmanovic with the bloody foot and all the drama, we thought it was going to be a bumpy road for Sinner. He didn't lose another set until today. What's your takeaway on this final today?
Just the focus and the concentration and the belief. I think the 3 out of 5 set helps because there's not that much pressure, but still, the pressure was immense, and he never wavered. Faced one break point. The guy stays in the moment better, perhaps, than anybody. Certainly better than anybody right now.
It's hard to play your best tennis on grass. It really is. At the pace that the game is these days, it's difficult. You don't have time that you have on other surfaces. It's much more difficult to get out of a defensive position and back into offense or even neutral. So the margins are small. And you watch Sinner, and he understands that. And he does not get bothered when he's not playing his best. And there were times today when he did, but I'd say most of the match, he wasn't able to because Zverev was serving so great. But he's so level-headed, and that is just a great example for all you kids out there that are doing anything in life. You don't have to be at your very best every time. You just got to be good enough to get through, and that's exactly what he did.
What's your code, Haber? That's what I'm talking about.
1,000%.
1,000%. Did he give 1,000?
He 1,000% did.
Okay.
And that's what Jim did right there as well.
Did a heck of a job. That's
That's what I'm talking about.
So if you're keeping track of the new 2, it's 7 for Alcaraz major titles, 5 for Sinner. For a long time, it was 24, 22, and 20 with Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer that we were counting. Now we're counting these 2 guys, and we hope to see Alcaraz back before too long. We're going to put a bow on this entire fortnight now with everybody's number 1 memory, takeaway, lasting image. What is it for you, Martina?
There were so many. I mean, when we went through that, all the matches and everything that happened, there were so many amazing, fantastic, memorable moments. But for me, you have to go with the winners. We had one very unpredictable winner in Noskova and a very predictable and deserving winner in Yannick Sinner. So we'll see what the US Open brings, but this one was memorable.
Prakash, what's your takeaway?
I lean towards all the beautiful stories we have in sport that kind of take us out of sport a little bit more into life. And seeing Alex Ayala get that win over Iga Swiatek on center court, it's a huge day, not just for her, but for all of the Philippines. That was magic.